Okay, so that works. Um, yo, let me fix that. But yeah, I thought I responded to your message. Oh, oh, all right. So that's that. So I fixed the audio. Let me check this one because I need to modify that because I changed my thingy. Okay, like I think this is working well. Yo, what's up, Rainy Zach? So Zach, what's it called? I should probably tweet out the stream. Twitter. Okay. So, fam, this one, the thing is, like, I put it to copyright free, but it's not copyright free sometimes, and it makes me upset because like I specifically try to find it just for this, and this whole channel is copyright free. It's like, this one's pretty good. So I was thinking of maybe do like a scribble drawing, whatever, but also talk about stuff that I was thinking. I was supposed to do I was supposed to be streaming with Afro, right? The Afro, like we talked about this, and I was like, oh, you can do it tomorrow, and I was like, yo, what time you free? And I just told him like when I'm free. I was like, yeah, that's cool. And nothing, literally nothing. I'm like, fam, bro, what are you doing? Like, I thought we were gonna do another live stream. Like, I don't know. Everyone else is busy doing something, and it's like the theme I want to do. I don't want to. What's it called? Like EJ and Weston would be a different day, but I want to like change focus or try something different for the time being, and see how that works with the formula. You know, if like I can be able to push the content that I want to make, but I haven't really attempted to do, which in itself is like very, I guess, interesting to me, because like there's always something holding back of making that content. Even now, it's like I want to. Like, I was like, okay, I want to do this live stream and like make this content, and then right now I'm just like, the mojo's gone. I'm just like, ooh, I need to, like play that game and figure that out. So I feel like that game is really important, and I'm not doing it right. Anyway, so let's try. I want to try drawing some like Earthbound stuff. I know that's hot, but it's like actually like Earthbound's nice, man. Like they have amazing visuals. Hey, what's up, JTH? What's it called? What else I was gonna say? I was thinking like kind of. So this is kind of what I want to do, right? This as well as okay, I kind of want to do this now before the drawing stuff, to be honest. So let's enable this real quick. What do you mean you gotta change name? Also, JTH, you never did the outro, fam. Never did the outro. Alright, so these tweets, right? Let me zoom in. I hate how this cuts out. It looks horrible, but wait a minute, couldn't I do it? No, Twitter for iPad, it's just gonna look weird. Okay, I'm really thirsty. Let's start from. Okay. Also, this is so cute. Like it goes. Wait, let me mute this audio real quick. It's really hard to push through, but it's so cute. I love it. I love it. It's the best. Okay, back to like this drawing is like impeccable. Like this art style is so nice. I'm surprised more people aren't doing that art style. So this is kind of like the movie idea I had. I'll speak on that more after I finalize the story, because like even the story right now, it's all over the place. I don't know exactly what I want to do with it. Well, I want to do that too, but it's like this isn't PK drawing. This is just me doing what's it called? So yeah, a big part of like the content I wanted to make was like talk about this. I'm not gonna like read it out loud, all those tweets, because like you can read it, it's pretty big, so I'm assuming you guys can do that. Also, my webcam should be above this. Here we go. So basically what I was getting at with this was that it's very interesting how for schooling they teach you to do a certain way, right? Like they give, especially like younger, everyone's around the same for what they want, their responses. Like math, very simple. English, it's very like, you know what they want, you know, it's very obvious. And it's not bringing out creativity and individualism. You know, like it's not bringing out the individual when you do all this. Like for math, that's not being an individual. That's just punching a number. It's not the same effect. So what I was going to say is like in English and all the really great things, whatever, especially English, the whole English thing is this, which is, okay, let's make it so you're not creative, and then that you have to relate and try to, no, you're not even creative, you relate to what someone else has already thought of when they had a creative moment, right? And you take that creative moment and you're like, oh, how can I really make this work for this paper to please? But it shouldn't be like that. It should just be, oh, I want to do something because I think it's cool. Not, I think it's cool through all of this garbage that is pushed through and topics. Like, if someone actually enjoys something, they will find something. Like, I feel like the more open-ended it is, the better. But there also has to be, like, a leeway to it. Because if you're taking, like, Shakespeare, or you're taking this or that, it's like, you're still basing it off someone else. That's what I love about creative writing. It's like, there's literally nothing that's stopping you, or what's expected. All that's expected is you doing something. I feel like that doesn't connect with a lot of this stuff. They know the same umbrella of English, but it's like, come on, it's not the same. It's really not. So this was the idea of that. I want to do everything the person you don't play others. So that's kind of also, it's like, if you never play the game of accepting of what everything is in that way, like, oh, it's like, oh, well, you should be worried about, or it's like what you should be focused on in the world. It's like, if you do your own thing, but you don't do it with messing with your, like, making a mindset that's bad. If you never make that mindset and do this at the same time, then you would achieve a lot more. Because you're canceling out so much things that you think are good, but they're actually not. Because you bring yourself illusion because you worked on it so hard. If you work on something you think it's better than it actually is. That's why in English you have to have other people read your stuff. Whereas it's like, it's gonna just be bad. So it's kind of like that too.
You know what?
It's weird how like people go from back and forth and not realize the contradiction.
I can handle it.
Oh, that's great.
I'm certain that you cannot.
Oh, come on, I smoked a ton of weed in the 90s.
Right, the 90s.
Yo, JTH, I want this. I want that bit. Okay, so, alright, I'm gonna copy that for later. I was like, this is like, what just happened? So this cat is so cute. That's so cute. And also what I was trying to get with this is that there is a way might be Thailand. Thanks for the advice, my guy. Let's go. And then what I was also trying to say with this was that even if you do fall through and do everything that's expected, to rise out from that it takes a lot of skill, right? And like, you have to know what you're doing, but at the same time it's like you're putting all the effort for a little bit when you could just it's like you could have just not played this whole entire game and achieved the same result. Like, because it's a lot harder to go through that and to destroy it all than to not have it at all. I guess like the experience, but like eventually that gets you. It really does. And that's kind of how that blends in with that as well. How it just like, nah, doesn't even have it. Okay, Thailand's always here, just like, always hops up in like the beginning of the stream. And like, I never see him again after. I always like, wait, what's going on? Restriction. Also, the restrictions that we give, it's like, it's very, like, everything we do, right, and how we grow and like make our mindset and make our mentality, we do it through so much logic statements, but we're doing it through life, but we never go back and rewrite them. Like, obviously what you know now, you knew years ago isn't the same thing, it's obviously. But the thing is, you never change the mindset, you never change what you think about everything from before to now, and re-realizing and re-establishing the ideals, the thought processes, the what you want to do automatically just. But it's like if you never have that at all, then you're fine because you're in the moment. This is only for like people who don't do that. Like that's the kind of what I'm trying to say with that. You know, like that type of stuff. Okay. So I didn't find it. I tweet a lot of the same stuff in different wording, because like sometimes I will say stuff, right, and I'll think of it like one way one day, right, and I'll think about it, right, and think of something completely different, right, like at least to me it's different, like how I perceive it and how I understand, like what I understand about it. And then if I tell someone that's cool, they're like, dude, you literally said this like last week. I'm like, word for word, I don't think I did. And like I know I didn't because I remember my word. And he was like, the message is very similar, so for majority it's the same, but there's different ways. Like even if it's very simple and basic, there's a lot of complicated things based off just wording that I think a lot of people goes over a lot of people's head as well. Yeah, it's like doing your own thing then. Oh, this song is from Omniboy. This song is fire. Oh, that's right. Oh gosh. So this one was very interesting when I wrote it. Hey. I'm confused. What's it called? I'm going before. Oh yeah, I forgot to hit that button. Not right now. Make up before. So what this was that if you figure everything out immediately, day one, right, and you just go through all the simulations, every single possible scenario, and you just get it all, right? Like in your head. Eventually everything just is so dull that you need outside something, you need something else, or else you just get bored. And like, I guess depressed as well. Because like there's nothing left. And it's like, you know, you yourself, it's like, you've exhausted everything. So if you time like processing all that with afterwards, it's a good transition. But it's like if you're lost, and it's hard to get back from outside of that. I feel like that's why it's a lot of, I guess, a lot of reason why everything's becoming worse. Because like we are expected to do all this crazy stuff, right? Which before we didn't have to do. Before, we think about like simple life, it's just farm life. It's very simple, very easy. It's not like easy because like it's physical work, but it's easy in relationship with nature and life and how you do things. When you start adding all this complicated stuff, it just becomes worse. It's like doing things that are bad. It's like, you know, ultimately it's bad for you, right? Like I think that's pretty obvious. But at the same time, it's like for people, it's also excitement. It's also something different and something they get bored of the casual, because it contradicts what they think what people like before know is good and what works versus what we think works, and the contradiction just ruins everything in that transition stage. I feel like that's why you see a lot of problems now, because of that fact. I don't know. This is September. This is very important. I don't think people realize how important this is. But basically it's like what you listen to, and like the instruments and the wavelengths, everything. It obviously puts influence, right? Because if everyone listens to the same music, that it's kind of like fashion trends and social norms at the time, and like trends what everyone wants to be, that be accepted. But if they have true friends who just accept yourself who they are, then you're fine. Like, you really shouldn't be doing that. So it's like, especially with music, it's like you need to find your taste and not someone else's. Because if you don't listen to every genre, if you don't explore everything, how do you know you don't like it? Or you really like it brings something better in you? It's like exploring and finding something cool, but also making making a sense of what you, I guess, vibe with and what you connect with. Because music says a lot about people as well, I feel. So that really goes with that. So this is also the point of the duality, where the mindset that you make, right, you work so hard, even though it's like it's not the greatest, but if you master that part and like go through it, and you also, because when you go through and you go back as well, it kind of flips. So if you figure that out, you're fine. You just need to make sure you do it right. Yeah, so a part of this is that, like, the only thing humans are good, like, the best thing we can do is create, right? Like, create, like, kids, right? Not creating someone else and creating new life. Like art, right? Doing an art piece, amazing, like, or building a table, doing literally anything that's creating is the best thing we can do. That's why people hate demolishing it, hate it so much, because there's so much to everything someone makes. No matter if it's perfect or not, it's like there's still value in all of it. And like now it's all, let's just all conform to the same thing. It's like, but if you conform to the same thing, where's your end of the stick? Just being a consumer and not doing anything? Like, no. There has to be something better. Like, you gotta be creative. So this is kind of also goes with the duality in and out like that. I need to check something real quick. Okay. That's the one. Okay. That's kind of happening also. Like the bliss is like being alive. You know, it's like being your own person. I feel like we confuse ourselves because we make a mindset through our lives and like what we think, what we believe, but we make it in a way that covers self. Like I said, it's like you go out, right, and you like think about the world in a certain way and everything. But then again, it's like, what do you actually know of the world and have seen of it? Nothing. So I make assumptions of literally everything and make a mindset that it adapts to it. It's like, but if you experience everything raw and how it's supposed to be and have that true understanding, there's no point. There's no point of making all this work for nothing. I feel like I'm guilty of it too in some regards, but it's like, I feel like that's a big part. Basically, get better. Yeah, it's like, I feel like people trying to go back, it's like they create all of this and they try to revert back to the prior, and that doesn't work because they don't realize everything they did to get to that point. It's like you make a building, right, and then you just try to demolish it. It's like, figure out how you built it so you know the tools and ways to undo it. Like tying a very elaborate knot. Yeah, it's more like a knot. You make a very elaborate knot that figures stuff out. It's like you have to undo the knot to get loose. And like just be rope with potential again to do any other mode. I feel like that part as well, no one's really, people get confused of how to do that, and I feel like it's a big issue. So this is another part, and my friend was like, when you're awake you're more logic, and logic gets away with creativity, which makes sense. When you're more tired. Yeah, it's like this as well. It's like that loop and realizing, but it's like if you master both sides after the fact, because like by the time you do that, it's like, all right, you already did your thing, like it's already over. So it's like, take that finalized product and like combine it and be happy with it. Like this as well, it's like you have to realize the past, like what you were thinking, how that changed, how your perception of life is, and redo it and refix it. Like that's kind of like the stargazing thing that I was talking about too. Like when, at least when we were talking about like coding and stuff like that, it's like that's a big part of it, is going back, fixing things, realizing a lot of stuff that went wrong, and fixing it all for a better self. I feel like for me, I didn't realize all of it like immediately how they worded it, or like I interpreted it in a different way, but okay, it's the same concept, very same concept. Just see everything for what is very simplistically. Don't. And also the spring cleaning, it's like you add, there's a point where it's not even what you make for later and like how you do it, but it's the things like we add so much complexity to literally nothing, and it shouldn't be that complex. The answer, like, we forget, like we always try to just be in the zone of that mindset that we create, not of how things actually are raw. Like you need that duality of that contrast to like figure out the best structure. That's supposed to say use. So this kind of, like, as I'm saying, like, you can say one thing 50 million different ways, and yeah, they're talking about different things, but it's also the same thing. It's a very strange concept. Like, just think, cause like I think I'm done talking, about it is like all the same, but it's not at the same time. It's very strange. Future with the past, and with this, it's like the expectations you make of what's going to happen, you base that off of the past most of the time. But if you do that, it's like you think you have a good image, but when you're actually there, it's like it's not the same. It can never be the same because the universe will not just throw stuff at you, which you're never gonna expect. So if you build something that can never be used to the unexpected, if you just don't do anything, like you see, flow with everything, it's like the unexpected just doesn't hit that hard, and it's very easy. This as well goes back to that message. It's like you need to go back to how things are, based off like we did too much in everything. It's like you play the game too much where it starts affecting not even like lives, like actual people like living, but it's also converts a brain dead type. And this as well is like if you go simple and you go very simplistic and just and you figure out self, it's thanks. It's like you lose. I feel like the answer, like listen to your heart. It's kind of like that. Oh, I got you. That's kind of the listen to your heart thing. It's like you have all the answers for everything. Like you really do, and everyone does. But it's we always think it's like, oh, that can't actually happen. We put self-doubt based off the mindsets we create, and then it kind of makes us not see what's in front of us because of that. I feel like we need to actually spend time. It's like, okay, like if something crazy happens, right? It's like you see everything for how it is, and not because that's what dumb thing about politics is too. It's like if you just see how it is, not really, and just go based off what you see it, and not based off the mindset you put into it, you can see how it progresses, how it changes, and like different aspects of it that's more neutral. Because the second you start, oh, blah blah blah, it's like, come on, like it's a fine line. I know that. Yeah, also with the mindsets, the revival. I'm saying most of the same thing in just very different ways. I think that's why a lot of people didn't like it as well, or it's like hard to get that audience. Because of that difference. So yeah, this is one of the other parts. Is like the more you put into everything, you try to figure it out. It's like you also lose what it is. It's like it's so weird saying the same thing 20 different times. But like each time I say it, like when I think of it and I say it, I understand it as completely different things. It's very strange. Yeah, so if you so this is the thing, it's like you start up in one point in life, when you're a kid. If you even go back, it's like, think about like if you have a pet, right, like a cat or a dog or something like that. It's like animals, the only thing they do is express themselves. That's like the only thing they really do. Like their personality is way more raw than a lot of people. because people also make assumptions and judgment before someone even does anything. It's like, no, you gotta do it in the moment. You gotta read it. Like, you don't try and play games like that. You see things for how it is, and then play cards. Like, you can't win every poker game before the game even starts. Like, sometimes you just got, you know, bluff and like play that time. So this is the other part. It's like when you make the mindset, you try to beat life because of all the instructions you put, and you're thinking like, oh, this happens, this is how I'm gonna react. If this happens, that's why I built. Like, you put your beliefs and stuff. But at the same time, it's when you start thinking of how life is, when you do that, it's like you put so much effort dictating all that, but at the same time you're losing sight of what actually is. You know, it's like watching a movie. It's like, oh, you're trying to dissect every single scene, blah blah blah. But at the same time, it's like when you do that from the start, you can't lose the meaning of the whole movie. So like some movies, like you just have to experience the whole thing once, like fully, and then that really does a number and really does an effect. I feel like those movies become really popular as well. I feel like no one's, that's what I'm saying, like nostalgia. It's also because thinking about nostalgia, which is very important, is it goes to a simpler time before we make all that mindset that we think is growing up that's actually making worse. In some regards, you have to be very specific and very careful. But it's like the simpler time, you express more and more stuff, and when you do that, it's like, oh, that's super cool. And that's why I think because like the why to get back to it, it's like, oh, that's a connection. Even though it might not be the greatest, it's still a connection for that. And I feel like that's why nostalgia is very important. And this is also like the duality of waking, like living and dying, like stuff like dualities are very. I could do a whole entire like series on dualities. Like, yeah, this part's like the duality is if you know everything, you get. If you know everything and you're aware of that, then you know nothing. So if you look, oh, I know everything, it's like you don't though, because the second you try to put that idea, you are already missing out on life, guaranteed. So you're losing out immediately. So it's, you have to figure that out. It's like being in the moment, being alive, and doing that. I wrote this like 5 times. I need to make sure I reread some of the stuff I write. So this was a part that I figured out a lot as well, which was worry, right? Worry is like, the thing about worry is it's something bad that happens when you overdo it all, right? Because worry is the mindset that was made for you, and then the mindset of society and how that influences. Like, if you try to process everything, you find a conflicting of self based off society obviously most of the time doesn't want like you being an individual. You want to be an individual and you want to do all these things. So it's the contrast between the two, and then you get worried. It's like, can I express myself? And there will still be people that, because not everyone's sucked into that society and that ideal. So it's like trying to play the cards where you can somewhat express yourself, and even that, it's like you get burnt out because you're trying to play an impossible game that takes so much effort for something that shouldn't take effort at all. And that's a big thing. Flow. I don't agree with that tweet anymore. This part's important. It's you as your creative self. When you're creative, it's like you create everything, and everything you create has a part of you in it, or it would be the same as everyone else's, right? Everything someone like, that's why for machines it's not creative anymore. It's not heart. It doesn't have that sentimental value because a machine does it. It doesn't have soul. When a soul makes something, right, or designs something, makes something cool, that part brings out a lot in the individual of the person creating, and that work helps make you live life in a good gateway, but it's also just something that's just better. So it's like if you live in your like the creativity part and always live, it's like, oh, what can I do next? That part's like pushing that to its limit, but that limit's nice. Back to this beautiful song. This channel's great. Did I actually go through all this? Basically. Or a good chunk. This song is still... What time is this? I feel like a lot of it's on anybody, but like they don't say who it is. I don't think they're all theirs. I'm not sure. It might be, and I might just be being mistaken, but so this is basically what I'm doing right now. And this is also parts like, if you concern yourself with others so much, or you don't concern yourself, you lose touch. You lose touch, there's nothing left. Such a good kid. Okay. So I think that's what I wanted to do for this for now. So I guess drawing time? Oh, 45 minutes straightened up. That's pretty easy for that section. Okay, time to have this set up. It's very annoying. Yeah, I also have a Nest. Like, Nest is cool, man. Nest is. So let's go on Google. Like, I like DuckDuckGo because they have a lot of stuff, but also like images and stuff like that. Just Google's better, man. Let's see something. Just like, just like this image, right? It's so beautiful, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff missing. But I also want to just like draw Ness at the same time, because like there's so many different interpretations of like how people draw everything. I kind of want to go to the original, like this, and like try to do something with that. Oh wait, I can technically use this stand. Okay, let's move that over there. So let's start with the red, right? Let's do So my friend recommended Procreate and I bought it. But like at the same time, like I want to add cool stuff that I don't know if it works well. Like some of it doesn't work as well as I wished. That's the only thing. So let's start with the that's not what I wanted. Undo, come on. No. Okay, let's. I want that thinner. I want that to be like a. I want like more of a. You know, it's like the baseball cap, how it's like the lines. I want that aesthetic for the edges. Then, like, it's hard to find something that's adequate for that. Unless I do like a flicks, but I also like change it up. So I make it very. Oh, that works. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. No, I want like a space out, but not that spaced out, if that makes sense. I want that. I want maybe like opacity. That doesn't seem to do it. Maybe like maybe that works if I do that right. I'm making this way too big. I need to scale down. This is a bad drawing stream 101. Don't know how to draw. I don't know what that means. Oh, it's like a keyboard shortcut. Disable. I'm just using it as a snare. Relax. that does not go well. That needs to be a lot thinner. So let's... Oh, that's big oof. Big oof. Like, if the second you stop using the app for a long time, you really forget like how to do it. So I have like a really like, I guess what that person had, but like something different with it too. Like I wanted it to be like slightly lighter, I guess, but still full. That doesn't go well. Maybe have less opacity. Not that low. Maybe. Like that, maybe. Then, so he has a blue. That shade. Maybe like this. I'm doing that all wrong. I didn't get the shape first. Do I want this tilt? I'm not sure. Okay. Let's like a... Oh, it needs to be more of a... But then I'm making it way too big for no reason. I think that's a really hard part too, is proportions. I don't think... Okay, and then let's get maybe this skin tone, but like... I really like this style. It's like artsy. Yeah, it's like a kiddish, but it's like also and let's just do black. I want it to be less brush eyes but more opacity. Let's get this color that I had, like more of a different tone. I want to have like some contour with it. Let's see. Have like a... That's too much. I want it to be like more reddish too. That looks absurd. Let's just take it back to the basics. That's but I need to make it darker. So make the rest of the face darker. That's maybe because the reflection. I have like a really like so I want this brush size to be extremely small. You know what? I want to do the nose after because I know I need to make the brush size smaller. No, that's so I don't know how to draw a smile. So midway. I'm really bad at doing the curve for that smile at this angle. I need to like this needs to move. Okay. Over there. That was a mess up. It's interesting how hard a smile is. Whatever. And then let's make this like how we have here. And let's see how they do. They just do like a dot. Then t-shirt. So official art starts with blue. Even though like yeah no official art starts with blue. So let's get to like a kind of like something like this, but like a little no let's undo that. Maybe a little something like I guess that color couldn't work. Thanks, bro. Creativity. Color choice. And then we want to make the brush size bigger. And then extend this a bit. Extend that a bit. And do yellow, like a yellow, but not like a bright yellow. It's like more of a this type of yellow. Blue. This is the part where it's like, I really have to make sure I do that right. Or else it's like, I'm not gonna turn out. It looks really weird now, but hopefully we'll get it to work. Change that blue so it's more like it. Yeah, get the line in. Ooh, that was a bad spot. Please tell me that yes, I just don't do everything. Use it. I still need to keep in uniform because I probably need to do it. No, that's not good. Spot, that there. And then let's take this yellow. Let's keep the same opacity, which is this small, so it's still then let's make the straps. Take this brown. Oh, that's a nice brown. Just use that. I think I'm putting it too in. That. So it's like. I don't think it goes with the aesthetic that I want. Yeah, I didn't change it back to like that very like spacey one. So let's get back to. Well, let me fix that blue real quick. It's not that either. And I guess that can work. Then let's go back to the brown. Let's make so typically it's a bright white. So let's go color wheel. That's all I want. Okay. Let's just white. Just white. And make this a very fine brush size. I'm gonna do that. I think I went a little too much, but here. That seems bigger. Dang, not. I didn't make that right. And then with the brown, I just straight up didn't make that right. Let's just do it a little bit wider for that. Too lightly. It's like a more like kiddish pink. Like, kind of rusty, but oh, something about it. Let's get an eraser. Take that first. I failed to realize all of what that matters. Precious thing. Kind of ruins aesthetic. What am I gonna do? Right? Alright, seriously. I wish there was like a no. Okay, so I can, but I can't take that thing and very interesting. Very interesting. I want it to be a little lighter. So let's do that to add well, that's a palette also. Maybe let's do that was the dumbest thing I ever read. I can't find like a what is that? It's like a brown. it's like a. I should really need Twitter on this iPad. No. Jesus. Also nice. Hip hop. Interesting. So that's option and that one's like a really cool background. Or I want magic hands. Where's magic hands? Oh, I put magic colon so magic can't. That's fun. There we go. So it's a very wavy type. Which I think will work out well. Man, I'm gonna fix this thing because it's being annoying. How do I mute Twitter? Just turn off notifications. Okay, because I'm not having that nonsense. Can you beat Minecraft without mining? Well, yes, you can. You just have to do, can you? I don't think so. If you can find villagers and just like certain chests, I think it's possible. Let's get this purple. That's something funky with it, the filters. That's the thing about fever. Like, I wish it was everywhere, but it's not. That's what makes me mad. Some abstract. No. Maybe I'll do some abstract. Think about that one. Oh, wait. I can make brushes? That's interesting. Let's I want like a purple background, but I want to make it like kind of like whimsy. It doesn't show up that well when you like actually make it work. Now I really am like just figuring that out. That's a bit much. Too close to that. No. It's very nice. I kind of like this though. I want something that works there. No. I'm making the art choice of not doing that. Kills the one's profile. So let's add this purple. Let's get more of a change the brush to maybe it was Nubia. I should have done Nubia, to be honest. I think crazy. Oh, that's too much. Too much. or take breaks. Let's try the other idea. I think that's good. This. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I kind of want to do it again, but change it up. If that makes sense. I want to change like the expression of the face. Have this have more like tint, like how do I place that? It's more of a not this, but lighter. A tramp, right? Yeah. That's crazy. go back to that one brush. Right back to that. Go back to palette. Let's do a more of like a PG vibe. Like that. Too harsh. Too harsh. I need how did that one artist do it? This artist is phenomenal. The one I retweeted. It's great. How they do it. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. I need this, but more like separate. I'm trying to get which one tool I use. There we go. Big rosy. I didn't know what I want to do with this, to be completely honest. Make it lighter. But I want to see some. If I do like a red, right? Like a really red. I want to see what happens. Ooh, that's sick. That's cool. I really enjoy that. It's not the first one. Take it off. I want like a lighter shade. It looks cool, but no, it's not what I wanted. Huh. Yeah, no, I think that's good. I'll just tweet up the part 2. This guy, he knows what's up. He's good at what he does. Okay. So I think I was hoping on doing a stream with Afro, but you know, Afro does whatever Afro does, so I think that wraps it up for this one. That was good.